The New Orleans Jazz and Heritage Foundation promotes, preserves, and perpetuates music, culture, and heritage through programs, cultural, educational, and economic activities year-round. Learn more at jazzandheritage.org. This program is brought to you in part by the Eugenie and Joseph Jones Family Foundation, a local foundation proud to support education, the arts, and culture in the greater New Orleans area.
I'm Peggy Scott Laborde, and welcome to Steppin Out, with updates from the local restaurant, arts, and entertainment scenes. Joining me, Poppy Tooker, host of Louisiana Eats on WWNO Radio. Hey, Miss Poppy.
Hey,
hello.
Peg.
She's back. Gwen Thompkins, host of the public radio program Music Inside Out, heard on musicinsideout.org. Welcome.
Thank you so much for having me, Peggy.
Alan Smason, editor of the Crescent City Jewish News and theatercriticism.com, and on his way to the Great Wide Way. I'm so jealous.
Broadway.
And musician, composer, many things, Paul Soniat, who will be performing next Thursday at the Twilight concert series at City Park, but he's playing for us tonight. Very good to see you. Hello.
Great to be here.
Welcome back. Poppy, a chance to learn from the pros.
Yes, the summertime fun just continues. And Miss River, which is, of course, Elan Shaya's restaurant downstairs in the Four Seasons, people may not know there's this fabulous outdoor patio area. And now there's a tiled pizza oven out there. And Chef Elan Shaya has sweet-talked his pizza mentor, Enzo DeSantis, to come to New Orleans all the way from Parma, Italy. And they are going to be celebrating pizza like nothing else. Next Thursday, they're having the pizza party kickoff. You have an aperitivo and a classic three-course menu. This is a small ticketed event to kick this off. But the fun continues Friday lunch. And, of course, at Miss River, they've been doing these festive Fridays, and they're doing this Ciao Enzo series where you'll have Italian spritzer cocktails and wood-fired pizza. The fun continues again on Saturday with more Ciao Enzo at their jazz brunch. And then in June, a little later, June 13th and June 20th, Elan is going to be teaching a kids' pizza class. And it's for kids 4 to 12 years old. And this, if you're having a summertime birthday, if you've got somebody who did really well on their report card and loves pizza, this is the ultimate event. So, pizza with Elan Shaya, you can't beat that. And of course, it's time to remind everybody, it's time to look at the tickets for the New Orleans Wine and Food Experience, because that's coming very soon, the first week of June. And you'll be able to kick off the whole thing now on Tuesday, June the 4th, with an interactive champagne tasting starting at 5:30. This is the most fun I know you could possibly have on a Tuesday. Down at Brennan's, there's going to be heavy past hors d'oeuvres. There's a raw oyster bar with Cajun caviar, and the hors d'oeuvres are going to be delicious, things like steak tartare and pimento cheese arancini, and it's going to be a great party and a great fun way to kick that off. And that's Tuesday. And then, of course, traditionally Wednesday evening are the wine dinners. And there are 2 wine dinners that look particularly wonderful to me. At the Grill Room, there's 4 courses that include yummy things like foie gras, a foie gras vol au vent, surf and turf, yum, coconut and pandan mousse. And this is all going to be accompanied with Charles Heidsick champagnes. And then, you know, if you're a red wine lover like me, you can't pass up the fun at Dickie Brennan's Steakhouse for his wine dinner. And that's with the Cliff Lead Vineyards. Bacon-wrapped scallops, a lamb porterhouse, a Louisiana beef Wellington, and peach Romanoff. The menus are delicious. The wine pairings are out of this world. Don't forget, it's time to get tickets and make reservations. And then Speaking of that, there is something coming in the middle of June that I really wanted to put on everybody's calendar. Chef Serene Mabay of Dakar Nola is going to be for the third time celebrating Juneteenth with what he calls the Afro Freedom Afro Feast. It benefits Grodad. It takes place at the Grodad farm. And the chefs who are joining him for this include Nina Compton, Charlie Pierre from Fritai, Martha Washington from Cafe Reconcile, Prince Lobo of Addis Nola. Caitlin Guerin from Lanyap Bakehouse is going to be working on desserts, soon to be opening her own bakery in Central City. There's students from Noki and Turning Tables. The Four Seasons is a sponsor, and there's a special room rate, which indicates to me that Serene Mabay's enormous national presence is translating to people coming from New York and all over the United States to celebrate Juneteenth here. So I wanted to make sure locals had a chance to get their tickets now.
Thank you so much, Poppy. And Gwen, thank you for letting me impose on you, okay? But I really want to know where to go for some great music this weekend.
Well, this is a good weekend, actually, the Memorial Day weekend, and now that the big festivals are over, it seems as if this is the last opportunity for a number of artists to get together and play locally before they head out for the summer on tour in the United States and elsewhere. And so there are an awful lot of local performers who are going to be at their best this weekend, I think, and even local performers who no longer live in New Orleans. And so that leads me to Friday evening at Chikiwawa, because Mary Gauthier is going to be performing then. She's a folk singer, wonderful folk singer, and a really respected songwriter for a number of artists, country and other Americana artists here, in Nashville and elsewhere. And she's from New Orleans. She is really known for these really profound projects that she does with military veterans, actually, where she will collaborate on songs with military veterans. They've put together an album years ago that was Grammy nominated. It was a really wonderful album, and she talks with people who and helps them figure out how to make music as a way to deal with trauma, either trauma in the field or trauma in their own personal lives. And she has her own history of trauma she's written about, and all. And it's really, she just does amazing work. And she's going to be performing her new album, which is called Dark Enough to See the Stars, and that's going to be Friday at Chikiwawa with Jamie Harris opening. And then most everyone has heard the news that the Palm Court Cafe is closing.
Very sad.
Which is a very sad event, exactly. It was such an island of, of grace, and on Decatur Street. And so now is the time to go and see the last shows if you have an opportunity to do so. And on Friday night, there's will be Kevin Lewis, the trumpet player Kevin Lewis, and the vocalist Yolanda Robinson, and they're going to be appearing with the Palm Court Jazz Band. And I have to say, Kevin Lewis has the sweetest trumpet tone of almost any trumpet player outside of Wendell Brunius in traditional jazz. I mean, it's really a beautiful tone, and I think it just will be a lovely night, and it will be a great opportunity to thank Nina Buck for all that she's done to keep the Palm Court open.
35 years.
So yeah, she's done a marvelous job, and it's also a really great weekend actually to see some young people play. And this is a great opportunity to see the Nojo Youth Orchestra. And they are going to be playing Saturday at 2 o'clock in the French Quarter, actually, in the afternoon. As everybody knows, the most important component of New Orleans music, irrespective of what kind of music that is, R&B or funk or jazz or blues or whatever, is the commitment that musicians have to keeping the music alive and to teaching younger generations, And so the Nojo Youth Orchestra is sort of, an expression of that. And they are going to be playing in Europe soon. And so this is going to be their concert before going to Europe. And so if you have an opportunity, it's not a bad idea on Saturday afternoon, May 25th, to go and see them at the Jazz National Historical Park. And that's again on Decatur Street, and of course in the afternoon on Saturday, you shouldn't have any problem parking. And then on Saturday night, there's a full schedule of Cuban artists playing around town, both sides of Canal Street. I don't understand what's going on, but I kind of like being in the middle of it. And so at BJ's Lounge in Marigny, there's going to be an event called Cuba Heat, and it's going to feature a number of female artists, Margie Perez and Yusa and Yasmin. These are all Cuban artists, Victoria D and others. And at the very same time, which is 9 o'clock on Saturday night, on the other side of Canal Street at the Dewdrop Inn, well, you're going to see there's a great night of Cuban music with the Cuban percussionist Alexi Marti, and he's going to be performing with Afro Gumbo and DJ Ahi Nama. And that's going to be amazing because obviously New Orleans is full of great percussionists, but Alexi Marti is pretty special, and I have always enjoyed seeing him. So I don't know what's happening, but if there's a way to toggle around town, maybe the Saturday night would be the way to do it. And Sunday is normally quite a slow time in music in New Orleans, but Sunday is not going to be slow at all this Sunday. It's going to be Aurora Nealand playing over at the Spotted Cat. She's going to be with the Reed Minders, which is her new ensemble. It's terrific. And that's going to be early in the evening, around 6 o'clock at the Spotted Cat. I said calf, but no, it's cat. And then later on Sunday at the Toulouse Theater, it will be Big Frida, Jelly Joseph, that's Angelica Jelly Joseph, Sweet Crude, who blew it away at Jazz Fest this year, and this duo called Sax Kicks Ave, which I think is like a short for Sax Kick Avenue, you know. And they are hilarious. They are an R&B, jazz, hip-hop duo, and they make really smart and funny videos. So if you ever have a chance to go on YouTube, just go check them out. And it features Alfred Banks and Albert Allenbach. Alfred and Albert. And they're both performers, and I think that they are Tank and the Bangas adjacent. I think that they're actually in Tank and the Bangas, and at least half of them are. And they are they're totally worth seeing. They're on a national tour right now, and they're going to be at the Toulouse Theater as well. It's going to be a lovely night. And then Cyril Neville, who also did a beautiful job at Jazz Fest this year. He is one of the great frontmen. He's just one of the, one of the best live performers that New Orleans has ever had. And he's going to be at Chiquiwawa on Sunday night. This is like an amazing Sunday,
huh?
Yeah,
right across from the streetcar.
Absolutely, it's just a wonderful opportunity to see everyone all aggregated in different ways before they head off.
All right, thank you so much. And Paul, it's great to see you. We know you in two different contexts.
Yeah.
I know you've recently retired as the head of the Botanical Garden. How many years?
41 and a half, if you want to throw that half.
Wow,
great.
But you also have a bit of a music career, right?
Yeah, and
composing
really
and
because
playing.
of the Botanical Garden, we started the Thursday series, and one time somebody canceled, and somebody said, "Well, Paul, you play," and I didn't really play, and I said, "Well, maybe I'll do it," and I play all my own music, and I said, "Well, if I could write 10 songs, I can perform this thing," and I had about a month and a half to do it, and that's how I started playing. Really.
Where you're playing next week, and actually kindly, just less than an hour ago, you performed for us, and we're going to show that. Tell us about this original song that you're playing.
Well, I try to look at the context of New Orleans, and driving down the street, you run into a lot of potholes. So, that's, you hit a bump and it's inspiration.
Well, let's hear the official name of the song.
Potholes.
Potholes.
Favorite pothole, one you see every day, one you get to know. I'm just curious, I'd like to know, do you have a favorite pothole? One that gives you a little bump in the morning on your way to work. One that's guaranteed to spill a little coffee on your brand new white shirt, on your new white shirt. Christmas tree. Chinchilly, there's one 4 feet deep, and every day, every day, every day, every day it's getting deeper. In the east, it eat your bumper. Uptown, you gotta drive around them just to go home. I just wanna go home. Do you have a favorite pothole? One you see every day, one you get to know. I'm curious, I'd like to know, do you have a favorite pothole? You know, I called down, at City Hall. I asked them what they're gonna do, and I'm sure that the answer they gave me will please you. They said they're gonna form a pothole committee, gonna form a pothole committee today. They're gonna form a pothole committee, and then they're gonna study and study and study it just a little bit more. Calling consultants in from out of town, give a little money, they'll report right down. They'll say you have no problem at all. Your potholes are attraction like Niagara Falls, and people will come from all around. Potholes fill, unemployment goes down. You should be proud of your pothole. Be proud of your pothole. Do you have a favorite pothole? One you see every day, one you get to know. I'm just curious, I'd like to know, do you? Do you have a favorite pothole? Favorite pothole? A favorite pothole? I have a favorite. Do you?
All right, next Thursday at Twilight concert series. And we're talking about the Pavilion of the Two Sisters, and the performance starts at 6 o'clock, but the doors open at 5. And I would say get there as soon as you can, because it fills up pretty quickly. There are libations that are available as well, and this is right next to the Botanical Garden. Congratulations, Paul. Very, very exciting. And now, Mr. Allen,
So
you've got quite
the
a list.
Intramural Theater Company has come up with the Bermuda Can Company. That's set in New Orleans, and it incorporates a storyline that's about the potential for a commercial entity to be environmentally responsible and develop the world's first reusable, resealable aluminum can. So the Bermuda Can Company is ready to take the wraps off their newest product. They're led by Lauren Wells, who you see here, an obviously pregnant actor who's playing Kiefer Bermuda, a male role. That's kind of interesting. Here's where you might say in the next shot that we have here from the company, Hail Mary, because both Mary Davis and Mary Langley here play office workers, Beverly and Harper, respectively, both trying to get social media coverage for their breakthrough product. But well, they have another actor, Topher Johnson, who acts as the head of engineering for the new can, and he's a bit of a problem as well. So when the prototype goes missing just before the arrival of this social media influencer, the office politics and the backstabbing begins in full. Eventually, it's everyone for themselves, as the can's appearance creates questions about the company's diversity and inclusivity. Lauren Wells is really terrific in the role as an out-of-control boss who is pregnant with possibilities. Intramural Theater's Bermuda Can Company actually will ending its show coming up on Monday, Memorial Day. But if you get there a half hour early, you can take a tour of the Music Box Village for free. It's included in the cost of your ticket. So go check that out again this weekend. Meanwhile, the Tennessee Williams Theater Company is having its last fundraiser weekend. They had two earlier in the last 2 weekends, the Felt Menagerie. And that's going to be playing at the New Marigny Theater this weekend. This was developed during the COVID pandemic. The work's been fleshed out to basically expand to a 90-minute type of piece. It spoofs many of the characters and conventions in Tennessee Williams' most well-known plays. The actors use puppets to advance the plot, but then some of the real-life actors actually are on stage too, interacting directly with those puppets. Prepare for some hijinks and some lowbrow humor as the characters really deal with their own sexually repressed or sexually liberated psyches. That's the Felt Menagerie. It's playing on the small Robert Nims stage at UNO with 2 shows tomorrow and Saturday night and a final matinee on Sunday. Now, last Monday, the director, Liz Elkins, newcomer, and cast members from The Cake, Laura Grice, Joy Donis, and Doreen Chesley all joined me. They gathered on the NOLA Theater Talk Show to talk about their characters and to give us some more insight into the show written by Becca Brunstetter. You want to check it out? Go on my own YouTube channel or the theatercriticism.com Facebook page or the Theater Folk Facebook group. If you want to join that, you'll be able to see that show. You can still check it out. And again, if you want to check out The Cake, they're going to be having their opening on June the 1st. They have a preview on May the 31st. That show will officially opening on opening night with champagne and bites, and then they'll have some talkbacks and at least one lecture. We would invite you to go check that out on CrescentCityStage.com. And then over at Le Petit, A.J. Allegra is preparing to debut in his role as the artistic director and actually take on his first helm as director. It's Oscar Wilde's hilarious The Importance of Being Earnest. Another opportunity to see male cross-dressing at their finest. It's going to be, of course, for purposes of advancing comedy. I happen to really think that Mrs. Doubtfire and Some Like It Hot did a great job doing that on Broadway. Even Tootsie was up to the task. But this play, written more than 100 years ago, is still very funny and clever and written by Oscar Wilde. It's always worth seeing it properly directed, and with AJ at the helm, it cannot be anything less than superb. That show opens on October the 6th. And finally, AJ's old theater troupe, that's the NOLA Project, they're finishing their retelling of Shakespeare's The Tempest with James Bartell's The Tempest Reimagined, a shortened version with excellent performances by top-rate cast that's really finishing their run this weekend. Bring a chair, enjoy the show. That'll be at the Lafitte Greenway, just off Norman Francis Parkway.
All right, thank you so much, Alan. And let's focus on some picks. It's Greek Fest time. This weekend, enjoy various Greek dishes, including these amazing pastries. I've got these great pastries we've got to do show and tell here. Among them, you can see the baklava, and there's lots of music and activities. Oh my gosh, at the Holy Trinity Greek Orthodox Church, including church tours. And look at so pretty, and they smell so good. Tours and dancing, gfno.com for details on this. But boy, they're just gorgeous, and they're all made by the local members of the congregation. God bless them. It's great. And on Sunday, there is the monthly Piety Market at Hotel Peter and Paul. Jewelry, books, vintage clothing, food, and music. This time by Sheepy and the Hen, this music group, 2317 Burgundy, and you can check out their Facebook page too. Poppy.
It's time to get those tickets. I want to remind everyone for the New Orleans Wine and Food Experience. Vinola with the fine wines, the War of the Rosés, the grand tasting where there's more food and wine than you can possibly consume. It's lots of fun.
Miss Gwen.
Thursday, May 30th, a dream collaboration. Johnny Vodakovich on drums, Oscar Rossignoli piano, Max Moran on bass, the most lyrical rhythm section around at the Maple Leaf at 8 o'clock. If you cannot get into your show.
Right. Yes. That's right.
I'm booked. I can't
Exactly. Alan.
Well, Phil Melanson is helping Rich Look and his band come to the Monkey Hill Lounge. That's the former Audubon Tavern, if you remember, on Magazine Street. There will be 2 shows of the music of Jimmy Van Heusen, billed as Sinatra's best friend. Although Dean Martin and Sammy Davis Jr. might have something to say about that. Again, Sinatra's best friend, the songs of Jimmy Van Heusen by Rich Look and Company, Monkey Hill Lounge. Reservations at melonsongs@gmail.com, and I'll see you at the theater.
Thank you. And also on Sunday, the Symphony Chorus of New Orleans, under Stephen Edwards' direction, will perform Mozart's famed Missa Brevis in C major, the Sparrow Mass, and Puccini's Messa di Gloria. Here is a rehearsal clip from Messa di Gloria. Let's take a look. Mozart Meets Puccini. It takes place on Sunday at 3 p.m. at St. Mary's Assumption Church, and that's in the Irish Channel. Tickets at symphonychorus.org or at the door. A vaudeville revival will take place Sunday night at 8 p.m. at the Joy Theater. Aerial feats, burlesque, comedy, and dance. Lady Beast will perform her amazing balancing acts. JoyTheater.com for tickets. On Memorial Day, Monday, the National World War II Museum will be commemorating Veterans Day with the Memorial Day, of course, that includes remarks from a Gold Star family member and music from the Victory Bells and the American Legion Post 377 Band. Free admission to the event. The New Orleans Art Association is accepting entries for their nationally juried art show, which opens in October at an event venue called The Building, right there in Aretha Castle Haley Boulevard. And the deadline's July 31st. The Ogden's Bradley Sumrall and artist Carol Peebles will handle the judging. Go to noartassoc.org for entry information. And you can win 2 tickets to see Taylor Swift from a VIP suite at the Caesars Superdome this October. The nonprofit St. Andrew's Village, which will be serving adults with special needs and developmental disabilities, is raffling off the tickets as a fundraiser for its construction. The winner will also receive free parking and food and drink at the concert. A raffle ticket's $100, and the drawing will be held July 9th. Details, visit, you can see there, standrewsvillage.org. And don't forget, this weekend, Patio Planters have their Secret Gardens tour, and you can go to their website about that. Thank you all so very much, and thank you for watching. Have a good weekend. Bye.
The New Orleans Jazz and Heritage Foundation promotes, preserves, and perpetuates music, culture, and heritage through programs, cultural, educational, and economic activities year-round. Learn more at jazzandheritage.org. This program is brought to you in part by the Eugenie and Joseph Jones Family Foundation, a local foundation proud to support education, the arts, and culture in the greater New Orleans area.